Okay, so this is the first of a series of videos where I'm going to discuss the Shaolin roots of Chen Tai Chi and Yang Tai Chi. And as much as Chen Village wants to deny everything, they're wrong. And many people have proven them wrong. All around, Chen Village is only 50 miles away from Shaolin Temple. All around the area in that county, there are other types of internal martial arts they're doing that basically look like Chen Tai Chi, but they're not called that because they're not done in Chen Village. But it's basically the same string of movements. That's a pretty interesting thing. So that made me think, where did everything come from, really? I mean, when you know Shaolin well, I mean, I did 40 years of research, right? I'm 61. I probably did 50 years of research. When you're practicing Tai Chi, when you're practicing Chen Tai Chi and the old Chen from Taiwan especially, the old Yang before Yang Cheng Fu, you start to realize, I already know these moves. I already know how to do all this stuff. It's just a different strategy, but the postures are the same. The organizing of the form is the same, which means that all the postures progress the same way. Meaning that the forms are the same. They're done slightly different for each Shaolin form, but really? So, there's all different pieces to the Chen Lao Jia, the old form, old frame. And there's whole strings that come from the Emperor form will be, you can follow the Emperor form, and I'll put a link to my charts, and you'll see that the Chen form is following the Emperor form. Big chunks, right? But it's still there. Then there's another Shaolin form that's from a different town, and it's called Xie Quan, Xie, meaning slanted boxing. It's the same character for brush knee twist step, the character for twist, for slanted. All right? In that form, you're always doing this, the same as Shan Tai Chi. How do you like that? After White Crane spreads its wings in this Shaolin form, you do brush knee twist step. And remember, Chen does it like slanted like that. Okay? They'll do, I gotta put this down. They'll do White Crane spreads its wings, and then they'll come under their neck. The new Chen goes under your neck. What the hell is that? Goes here, opens, twists, goes out. Okay? That's the old original way. Now, let's think about this. It's not just that form. Shaolin also has Rou Quan, R-O-U, meaning flexible. 1, 36 moves, and 2, 36 moves. You can clearly see Chen Tai Chi and Yang Tai Chi inside there. And these Shaolin forms also have the concept, it wasn't Yang that made it up. Yield, redirect, absorb, release. And they're also which means you're sit back, turn your foot, and step. And also too, heel to toe. Heel to toe. That's in Shaolin. So many movements are in Shaolin. So we have the Emperor form. We have the 2 Rou Quan forms. We have the 108 Rou Quan form, the big one. We have the Xie Quan. They're all from Shaolin. Now, in the 1980s, these French researchers saw this form in China, and they said, what is this? It looks like you're doing Chen Tai Chi. You're following the movements in the same way. Now, it's the only 2 forms that do this. Left, right, go like this. Chen does this, and so does the Xie Quan form. It's the only 2 forms that have the kick, and then come down to this, right? There's no two forms in China that does this, right? Where your foot, your knee is down, your heel is out, and you're doing this. Nothing. Only these two forms. So, and only these two forms do this, okay? So, big clue. I mapped that form. Not only did it follow the Emperor's form, but the Chen form mapped it exactly. It even, this form, the Zhiquan form, it even repeats the same place Chen Tai Chi repeats, which automatically, you know, the Yang form is the Chen form, just done slightly different. Okay? There's not much difference. Don't get into like, oh my God, they're so different. They are not. And all those forms, even the Rou Quan form, repeats this. Okay? They all have a section that repeats again. So everybody always asks, why does this Chen form, Yang form repeat itself in the first and the third sections? And that's because the original form that they copied does that. Now, here's the big giant baloney that's going on in the Chen village wants to claim through the communist government, wants to claim that Chen started the whole thing and everything came from them. As we saw, it's not true. And why? For money, okay? Why? Why else would they say it? Instead of looking around and cooperating, collaborating, and exposing history so we can get information that's valuable, which makes you better at doing Tai Chi. Okay? Makes you better at doing Tai Chi. So, that's missing. Now, most people don't know anything about history. If you study the history and go back far enough, and you look at the writings that Chen village actually has, Chen Xin, Xin, and other people, right? Wu Tunan and all those dumbos all went there, and everybody else that thought they were so smart, and nobody saw the obvious. Okay, so in my book, The Hidden History of the Chinese Internal Martial Arts, there's a giant section on the origin of Tai Chi, and it is known, but not like Chen village officials want to talk about it, all right? The founder of the Chen form studied with Deng, whatever, that's his priest name. He was a Taoist priest. And he was the founder of what's Tongbei, what's called Tongbei today, the original version of it, okay? The original version. And then his teachers are known, two teachers from Shaolin. What did he learn? The Hong Chuan system from Shaolin. He learned Pao Chuan. He learned Hong Chuan, Xiao Hong Chuan, not Da Hong Chuan, because we don't see any Da Hong Chuan in any Tai Chi. He learned the what I call, Sung Tai Zu Chang Chuan, the long form, the long fist form, okay? The 32 move one. And he learned Rou Quan, R-O-U, Rou Quan. I'm not Chinese, I'm not going to pronounce it perfectly. I'm Italian, I don't hear people pronouncing Italian correctly. So, those materials he brought together. And from that he created Tongbei, because he took the Shaolin and mixed it with Six Harmony Spear, a famous spear form, which is also called the Yang spear form, okay? He took the spear energies, the spear movements, the spear ideas, and developed Tongbei. What does Tongbei mean? Through the back, through the shoulder. The original character was through the back. Then they started using through the shoulder, or vice versa. Doesn't matter. There's some Shaolin form Tongbei through the back. Some Shaolin forms are called Tongbei through the shoulder. They're totally different. Now, during Sung Taizu's time, Zhao Kuang-yin, there was Han Tong Tongbei, one of the generals in the Tang army that when he took over to become the first emperor of the Sung dynasty, they killed him and his whole family because he didn't want to defect. Anyway, Han Tong's Tongbei is honorary because they didn't want to kill him, but they probably had to. And it was used as part of the early influences. Now we're going back to the 1100s, okay, when I'm talking about this stuff. So you want to read deeper about this stuff, read my book. But anyway, so let's keep looking. The other form that Shaolin has that you can find brief glimpses of Tai Chi in it is the monkey ape form. The monkey ape form has a lot of pieces that look just like Tai Chi. I mean, you're coming here, you're going like this, you're going like this, right? You're doing everything in the same order as the Chen form. So the Xiao Hung Chuan form also does the same order. So I'm going to document all these forms and I'm going to point out where the move came from in Chen Tai Chi and Yang Tai Chi. Now, what's the difference Chen Tai Chi, Yang Tai Chi? Okay, Lu Chan studied already Shaolin Hung Chuan. Okay, and looking at the movements in the Shaolin Hung Chuan, it's the Xiao Hung Chuan, not the Da. So he brought more of Hung Chuan into the Yang and further developed it. And he made it smoother. Now, one of the important things that's in Shaolin is the idea of Bai, foot out, Ko, turn in. Look, this is step on the gas. This is step on the brakes. What is Bagua? I'm going to get to that too. After I do Tai Chi, I'm going to show how all the things that Bagua took from Shaolin. And everybody knows that Deng Hai Chuan studied Shaolin Louhan first, okay? There's an 18 Louhan form that's all palms, and it has the same animals as Tai Chi. Unicorn, bear, blah, 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 right? None of those animals are found in any other form except for this flat hand form. What is the original type of Baguazhang? Flat hand, like this. Ox, it's called the ox tongue hand in Shaolin. It's called the willow palm in Bagua. In Yin-Fu Bagua, their first kind. Okay, so, and by the way, they always say, oh, Yin-Fu studied Shaolin Tantui. He did not. He practiced a kicking style. It was Chuo Jiao. Everybody that lived in Beijing when they were young practiced Chuo Jiao and Bafan Shan. That's common knowledge. So when you look at his teachers and his students, the students of those teachers that were friends with Yin-Fu, they're all Chuo Jiao people. Chuo Jiao is foot poking style. One of the pretty old style, but probably an ancient style, but then it came back around the 1800s. Anyway, there's so many things that interconnect. Okay, what's the first thing we should look at? Chen Tai Chi has two different lineages, all right? There's the Chen village lineage went with Chen FaKe, okay? But he didn't learn from his father, Chen Zhanjin. He learned from his uncles. Now, Chen Zhanjin was Du Yuzhe's in eastern China, right, in Shantung province. He was Du Yuzhe's bodyguard, family bodyguard, and he taught him Tai Chi. The original Tai Chi before Chen FaKe changed it, okay? The original. And what did Chen FaKe do? He took the Yang form, because Yang Lu Chen was really popular, and then he augmented it. So he recreated. Because why? Chen Tai Chi had died out. By 1950, there was barely anybody except old people doing it. And they weren't even doing it in Chen Village. They were doing it in their surrounding towns. So yes, you could find the Chen small frame and people who married out of Chen Village and into other villages. You can find all that stuff. Okay, but going back, Du Yuze took what he learned, the original Chen, and brought it to Taiwan. And in Taiwan, they practiced the Chen, but without any Chen FaKe's influence. And there is modern Chen in Taiwan, of course. And the Chen village people came there to teach people. Because why? They don't want anybody to realize that Du Yuze is on the same level as Chen FaKe. Du Yuze studied from Chen FaKe's father. Okay? So they don't want people to realize he's on the same level. They want to obscure it. They want Chen village to be the only one. They don't want to realize that the Taiwan Chen is older than Beijing Chen, that later went to Chen village. Now, so they recreated Chen and they brought it back to Chen village. So Chen Zhao Pei and Chen Zhao, the two Chen Zhaos, they came to Chen village and they started teaching the people that we know today are the main big wigs that teach, right? And something was missing, right? So the Chen village claims that they created silk reeling. And it's simply not true. Chen FaKe never taught silk reeling. He would just go like this all day. While he's talking, he's going like this. All right? And then his student, Feng ZhiQiang, very important person. Two of my teachers, they go back to him. One of them was a direct student, and the other one is a student of his son-in-law. Okay, Feng, Z-H-I, and then Q-I-A-N-G. Okay, very famous person. He was very well learned. He did study with Chen FaKe. Okay, he went to Chen village 4 or 5 times. And he brought silk reeling there because he created it. How did he create it? Okay, how did he create it? Well, his teacher was Hu YaoZhen, H-U-Y-A-O-Z-H-E-N, the famous internal martial arts master that created the word Qigong. Before him, it was called Neidan and everything else. That's a little bit more accurate. Qigong just means energy work, breath work. That's it. And he created it. So, Hu studied Hua Shan, Hua Mountain, Taoist Qigong, and Shaolin Buddhist Qigong, okay? And that's what he taught. And that material went there and had a big influence. So, part of all this, Wang YunKai was a Shaolin practitioner that also is in the mix here. So they practice more than one style of Tai Chi, right? Hu studied Yang Tai Chi with Zhang QingLin. He studied Zilu Tai Chi, which is a different type of Tai Chi from the local area. And he studied with Chen FaKe. Okay, so he recommended his student, his Qigong student, Feng, to go there. So Feng puts together, see this book? A Taoist Guide to Longevity by Bian Zhizhong, Z-H-I-Z-H-O-N-G. You can still buy this on Amazon if you're really lucky. This book shows the ancient Taoist Qigong movements that were done in Hua Shan, Hua Mountain, which is not too far to the west of Shaolin's mountain, okay? So these moves look a lot like things you find in, okay, I studied the whole Silk Reeling, so there's lots and lots of moves, okay? Lots and lots of moves. But this book has this, which turns to, look, single whip, done this Qigong. It has a lot of the movements that were found in Tai Chi, but they're all the movements that are found in the Silk Reeling. But, most important, what has all the moves that are found in Silk Reeling that Feng created, and he brought to Chen village, and the Silk Reeling came from him. He's the founder of Silk Reeling. Okay? He said Chen FaKe practiced Silk Reeling all day, but he never showed specifics. He never showed a specific form. Sure, he just, like I showed you, he just went like this all day, and that's what Feng told my teachers, that he just was twisting and turning and wiggling and doing all this stuff all day long with his whole body. While he's talking to somebody, he's going like this. He must have looked crazy. So, okay, so where do we find this all in Shaolin? Identical to the Chen Yuan Gong form. Now, what is Silk Reeling called? Chen Zi. Can see SSI, SSU, depends how you spread it. It means Silk Reeling, but it also means coiling. And originally, Chen style was called Coiling Boxing. Coiling Boxing, okay? So, all right, so what's the first move? Coil. Coil horizontal. It sure looks like I'm doing Silk Reeling, and I learned Silk Reeling, and this is one of the Silk Reeling moves. This is one of the Silk Reeling moves. So it's heaven and earth obscured by clouds, this move is called in Shaolin. There's only 8 moves. Okay? You do it 8 times. 4, you start on the right, you go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So look, what do you learn here? Grounding, see? Grounding. Moving up, everything you learn. From here, when you touch, you knock people across the room because it's got power. So this is, okay? The second Silk Reeling exercise is the second Chen Yuan Gong move. Go behind you, kind of like single whip. Go behind you. It's like the Taoist ones. The Taoist ones and the Shaolin ones look similar. So you go and turn. Okay? The third one, all right, so look, observe the pattern. Horizontal, vertical. Look at my hands. First one, my hands are like this. Second one, my hands are like this. See? Well, this one's vertical, duh. Vertical, this one's horizontal. Vertical up and down. Horizontal this way. Horizontal. So vertical first, horizontal second. Okay, so what comes next? Diagonal. The next move, look what it is. Wash face, look at the picture, show the picture. It's called windy greeting. It's also called brush away the dirt. It's white crane spreads its wings. White crane spreads its wings. White crane spreads its wings. And then, look, you can turn it into brush knee twist step. White crane spreads its wings. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee twist step. Remember, every time white crane spreads its wings appears in Chen or Yang Tai Chi, Wu Tai Chi, what's it followed by? Brush knee twist step. It's a variation of it, right? White crane spreads its wings, you hook with the other hand. And then look. Brush knee twist up. How do you like that coincidence? So we did vertical, horizontal, diagonal. The next move is big circle. So where do you find this? Well, you find it in the Chen push hands. Chen push hands uses Da Lun, the big circle. This is a big circle. So this is one of the silk reeling things that you do. Circle your hips, right? So that's vertical. Then horizontal. No, that's horizontal. I'm getting the mix, sorry. Vertical. Vertical, split the mountain. Split the mountain. Okay, where do you see this in Tai Chi? Right before the kicks in Yang and Chen Tai Chi. You do exactly that. You come out of this, and then you do this. I pat the horse. And then, look, what we just did. 1, 2, 3, kick, drop. I pat the horse. 1, 2, 3, kick, come back and around. Okay. We're past coincidence at this point. Okay, the next move is dragon wags its tail. So it's done double 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe out. Now here's what else I found. Each one of these is in Bagua. It's the 8 hand postures for the Qigong form that they do before they do palm 1, palm 2, palm 3. Okay? So, let me do it on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift your foot. Push. Breathe out. Grab. Dragon turns its tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dragon turns his tail backwards. Okay. What do you see in Tai Chi? I mean in Bagua. Okay. 1. Okay. 2. The next move. 3. The next move. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8. There's all the moves are here. Okay? All the moves are here. There's 8 of them. I don't have to do them all now. That's going to be a separate video. All the moves are here in this Qigong. Not only that, look what else is here. Wing Chun. Okay, this is the Shaolin way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come back. Okay? What's Wing Chun? The first form. Silum Dao. Little idea. It really means detail. Little details. Some people, some old people that practice red boat call it the Shaolin Dao form. Silum Dao in Southern Chinese or Indonesian. So, look at it. What did I just do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, look at Wing Chun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same movements. What does that mean? The people who founded Wing Chun came from Shaolin, which we already know. The Red Boat Opera, they were Shaolin monks, right? That escaped from the north. Now we're going closer to modern times. It's the 1800s. We're not going back to 1600s. I mean, Shaolin stuff can go back to the 1100s. So that form is an important form. If I were you, I would learn from me, so you get the details right. Chan Yuan Gong, not the fake way that the modern Shaolin people do it, because they don't know why they do their movements. They don't know what the details are. They don't know the purpose. They don't know the connections. Nothing. If you want to make your Tai Chi better, no matter what style it is, you need to learn the alphabet. You need to learn the foundation. So Chen Yuan Gong is the foundation. Next comes the 13 Louhan postures. Oh, what is Tai Chi called? The 13 postures. Oh, how do you like that? All the moves in Tai Chi can be found in that too, which I'm going to make another video. So right now, I'm just talking about how everything is all interconnected. This is just a general overview. So I'm going to show all those different Shaolin forms, and then right now, the Silk Reeling is the Chen Yuan Gong form. So where I left off was, after you do this one, then this happens, and you know what? You don't see it in Yang Cheng Fu Yang, but you see this in old Yang, pre-Yang Cheng Fu. Okay, so you just finished doing like what do you call it, right? Return Tiger to Mountain. Step, wash face, look at the picture, turn the picture, look. Okay, then you do Pong. This is the old Yang, so don't compare it to the new Yang. Sink, Chi, on. Okay, normally in the old Yang you go like this next, and then you do, okay, lift hand. No, this is when you're gonna get to fist under elbow. So right here, you go like this, just like the Qigong form. Then you do that. Then you do protect the home. There's all these extra moves that Yang Cheng Fu took out. Protect the home, circle around, fist under elbow. All those are found in Shaolin Qigongs. The whole fist under elbow, I'll show you everything eventually. Okay, so the next move after that is this. No, it's this. Sorry. Okay, so you don't really see this in Tai Chi. You're going diagonal, you're covering your ear, and you're knocking somebody over your foot. So if somebody's really close, you knock their punch out, and you hook down. See? And when you hook down, you're pulling them. So really close fighting, you're knocking them over. You're knocking them over with the side of your body, over your leg. Okay? And you go diagonal to keep your center line closed. The next move is in Tai Chi, shoot the tiger. Look. Shoot the tiger. In the old Yang, you can really see it. In the old Yang, it's done like this. In Yang Cheng Fu style, it's just done preliminary, right? So it's a figure 8. Small circle with the hips, big circle with the hips. Turn it into shoot the tiger. Small circle, big circle, shoot the tiger. Small circle, big circle, shoot the tiger. Shoot the tiger. So in Shaolin, you do this. Okay? In the old Yang, after you do 7 star, you go like this, open, come under, step over, kick, and then look, your hands go here just like the Qigong does, okay? Then, which dates things, okay? The last part of that form, that Chen Yuan Gong form, is straight out of XinYi. You do XinYi earth, metal. XinYi earth, metal. Okay, what's this? High pat the horse. BB Chen taught the Taiwan version of Chen. So I studied with one of BB Chen's students, and I learned the Taiwan version. Okay, so look. High pat the horse. So BB Chen always had you do this before you did this and before we get to the kicks, right? You always did 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what's that called? It's a tiger movement in Shaolin, but it's also a Louhan movement. So this is a tiger pouncing thing, okay? Because you do it with tiger claws. But it's still this. And then you can go like this. Bang, that's called Louhan planting a flag. You come in, and then, well, sure looks like XinYi to me. Okay? I learned XinYi. So, why does Shaolin have lots of XinYi in it? There's a Shaolin 5 elements form that the XinYi 5 elements form follows it pretty closely. The moves are very close. You even turn around in the same place. So, maybe one day I'll tape that. So, what's important? What's important to keep in mind? That during the 1600s, GGK, the guy who founded XinYi, wasn't called XinYi yet, it was called XinYi, okay, if it was called anything, went to Shaolin Temple, and he wanted to look at the animal forms they did there, rooster, tiger, and they exchanged information. There's a plaque, a Shaolin, there's a book from ancient times that got preserved. Remember, when every time the Shaolin kept getting destroyed, people left, and the monks brought everything with them to wherever they went. So their materials are preserved. That way is the only way. So, GGK, this must come from him. It's got to come from him. And it's always, right? So, high pat the horse is the same thing. High pat the horse is the same thing. So, you got a lot of coincidences here. Now, we're going to go further. We're going to start looking at other things. So, remember I was telling you these French researchers went to this Chinese village and they discovered this Zichuan form. Okay, so, let me show you this book. This is in Chinese. It's the Shaolin Book of Forms from the villages. Okay, and what do? The Zichuan form in completion. I saw a video of it, and it's the same form as in this book, except now Shaolin calls it XinYi Quan. Why? To camouflage it? But in that village, it's called Slating Boxing, Zichuan. So that's important. So this book is like a Bible. It has lots of ancient forms, better than the way they do now. And it has the Lao Hung Chuan that Zhao Kuan-Yin mixed Rou Quan and Hung Chuan together that Shaolin kept as a gift. Okay, so what did we learn? Feng ZhiQiang created Silk Reeling. And it was from Chen FaKe gave him the idea, but Chen FaKe never did the separate moves. How did he get the separate moves? From his teacher, Hu. And Hu got them from Hua Shan Taoist sources and Shaolin Buddhist sources. And what's the proof of that? You can see the Chen Yuan Gong is all, now the Chen Yuan means circular, but it also means coiling. So silk reeling means coiling in Chinese. It's the same character. Same character. Chen Yuan. So, same character. Coincidence? So, today, Shaolin calls that form Chan, as in Zen. Zen circling movements. No. Chen Yung in Chinese is together a compound word. It means coiling. It's turning as it rounds. It's coiling, 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 coiling. Okay? Coiling, coiling. So, silk reeling comes from here. This is the beginning of finding the roots of Chen Tai Chi. So we have to go back and look at the founder of Chen Tai Chi, what he learned. And he learned from a Taoist priest who learned from Shaolin. He had two teachers, and he learned the Hung Chuan system. Old writings about Chen village is called the Shaolin Hung Chuan style. Okay? Even Wu Tunan had an argument with Chen FaKe and said, you're not doing Tai Chi, you're doing Shaolin Hung Chuan. You're doing a variation of Shaolin Hung Chuan. And Chen FaKe's answer was, fuck you, basically. He was like, I don't know. We don't call it anything. We just call it what we do. And whatever it's called, that's what we do, and that's what works. And as long as it works, I don't care. It's a good answer. But the point is, he and his first student rebuilt Chen Tai Chi. But his father was in Shantung province, and his father was working. He didn't see his father hardly ever. So he didn't learn from him, but his father was teaching other people. So it's not Duyuze. If you go to Shantung, there is a different style of Chen there that is more like the Taiwan style. Okay? That's easily documented, and plenty of people have documented that form, and it's hard to get in the United States. You know, you got Andrea, what's her name, that translates everything from Chinese into English, Andrea Falk. She studied the Shantung style Chen Tai Chi that is pre-Chen FaKe style, and so everybody does in Taiwan is the same. So eventually I'm going to show everything. I'm going to show all the Shaolin forms, video by video. Then I'm going to do it as a form first, then explain this is like Tai Chi, this is like Tai Chi, this is like Tai Chi, this is like Tai Chi. I'll talk while I'm doing the form a second time. Then I'm going to videotape the Tai Chi and show you the other direction, reverse engineer it. This comes from Shaolin, this comes from Shaolin, this comes from Shaolin, this comes, okay? When you're all done, now here's the other thing. There are moves that are in the Xie Quan, Shaolin Xie Quan form, that are more aggressive, and you don't see them in Tai Chi. But if you look at the Taiwan Pao Chui, not the replenished, rebuilt, redesigned Beijing Chen FaKe version, the original version, right? A lot of the moves that are more aggressive, that are in the Xie Quan form, are found in the Pao Chui form. Okay? Coincidence again? Duh. I don't think so. So, anyway, this video is the beginning of the whole telling the truth, and anybody has more information, I'm glad to hear more. But the propaganda saying, Chen Village this, Chen Village that. Plenty of people have proved that this is just trying to clutch at the history and control what people know, which China is famous for that, thanks to the communists. Okay,